Electronic music. The name itself evokes images of pulsating lights, massive crowds, and of course those driving beats. But to define electronic music solely by its rhythm is to miss the forest for the trees. It's a vast and ever-evolving soundscape, a testament to human creativity and our endless fascination with sound itself. From the experimental compositions of the early 20th century to the global phenomenon of today's EDM festivals, electronic music has consistently pushed boundaries and redefined our relationship with music. This journey through the history of electronic music is not just about tracing the evolution of a genre, it's about understanding the cultural shifts, technological advancements, and artistic innovations that have shaped this dynamic and influential art form. It's about the pioneers who dared to experiment with new sounds and the countless artists who have built upon their legacy. It's about the power of music to unite, inspire, and transport us to another dimension. So, buckle up as we embark on a sonic adventure, exploring the key moments and influential figures that have defined electronic music. From the experimental studios of Musique Concrete to the digital landscapes of today's producers, prepare to be amazed by the sheer scope and boundless creativity of this electrifying genre. Whether you're a seasoned raver or a curious newcomer, this exploration of electronic music promises to be an enlightening and exhilarating ride. The roots of electronic music can be traced back to the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a time when electricity was still a relatively new phenomenon. Visionary composers, intrigued by the possibilities of this new technology, began to experiment with electronic instruments to create sounds never heard before. One such pioneer was Thaddeus Cahill, an American inventor who created the telharmonium, a massive instrument that generated sounds using electrical signals. Another influential figure was Italian composer Luigi Russolo, who, in his 1913 manifesto, The Art of Noises, advocated for the use of everyday sounds in music. Russolo believed that traditional instruments were limited and sought to expand the sonic palette by incorporating noises from the industrial world. He even built his own noise-generating instruments, called intonarumori, to realize his vision. These early experimentations with electronic sound laid the groundwork for what would become a revolution in music. Composers like Pierre Schaeffer, Karlheinz Stockhausen, and Edgar Varese further pushed the boundaries of electronic music in the mid-20th century with their pioneering work in Musique Concrete and electronic music. Musique Concrete involved manipulating recordings of everyday sounds, while electronic music utilized electronic oscillators and tape recorders to generate and shape sounds. These early pioneers, though often working independently, shared a common goal: to break free from the constraints of traditional music and explore the uncharted territory of electronic sound. Their experiments, often radical and challenging for audiences of the time, paved the way for the development of electronic music as we know it today. The seeds of a revolution had been sown, and the world of music would never be the same. The development of the synthesizer in the mid-20th century marked a turning point in the history of electronic music. This revolutionary instrument gave musicians the ability to create a vast range of sounds electronically, opening up a world of sonic possibilities. Early synthesizers, like the Moog and the Buchla, were complex and expensive instruments, often found in university labs and experimental studios. However, as technology advanced, synthesizers became more portable and affordable, finding their way into the hands of a new generation of musicians. Bands like Kraftwerk, Tangerine Dream, and Can embraced the synthesizer, incorporating its unique sounds into their music and inspiring countless others to do the same. The synthesizer's impact extended beyond electronic music, influencing genres like rock, pop, and jazz. Artists like David Bowie, Pink Floyd, and Miles Davis incorporated synthesizers into their music, adding new textures and sonic layers to their sound. The synthesizer became an indispensable tool for musicians across genres, blurring the lines between electronic and acoustic music. The rise of the synthesizer not only expanded the sonic possibilities of music, but also democratized music creation. With synthesizers, musicians no longer needed access to large orchestras or expensive studios to create complex and layered music. This accessibility fueled a surge of creativity, as aspiring musicians could now experiment with electronic sounds and develop their own unique voices. The synthesizer truly revolutionized the way music was created, paving the way for the diverse and innovative electronic music landscape we know today. By the 1970s, electronic music began to find a wider audience through the rise of disco. While disco encompassed various musical influences, electronic elements like drum machines, synthesizers, and effects played a crucial role in shaping its signature sound. Songs like Donna Summer's I Feel Love and Giorgio Moroder's productions for Donna Summer and others became anthems of the disco era, showcasing the hypnotic and danceable qualities of electronic music. Disco's popularity brought electronic music to dance floors worldwide, influencing fashion, culture, and social trends. The music's infectious energy and emphasis on rhythm and groove resonated with a generation eager to let loose and dance. Disco clubs became hubs of social interaction and cultural exchange, fostering a sense of community and shared experience. However, disco's reign was relatively short-lived, facing a backlash in the early 1980s fueled by anti-disco sentiment and changing musical tastes. Despite its decline in mainstream popularity, disco's influence on electronic music was undeniable. It established a blueprint for electronic dance music, demonstrating the genre's potential to move crowds and dominate dance floors. Moreover, disco's legacy extended beyond its catchy melodies and pulsating rhythms. It paved the way for the emergence of house and techno in Chicago, genres that would go on to shape the landscape of electronic music for decades to come. The spirit of disco, with its emphasis on inclusivity, liberation, and pure dance floor euphoria, continues to inspire and influence electronic music today. As disco faded, a new wave of electronic music was emerging from the underground clubs of Chicago. House music, named after the warehouse club where it was born, drew inspiration from disco's rhythmic drive, but incorporated a more minimalist aesthetic and repetitive structure. Pioneered by DJs like Frankie Knuckles and Marshall Jefferson, house music featured hypnotic four-on-the-floor beats, soulful vocals, and infectious melodies. Simultaneously, another genre, techno, was taking shape in Detroit. Pioneered by the Belleville 3-1 Atkins, Derek May, and Kevin Saunderson, techno embraced a more futuristic and industrial sound. Influenced by European electronic music and the city's automotive industry, techno tracks often featured repetitive rhythms, hypnotic melodies, and a darker, more atmospheric vibe. Both house and techno quickly gained traction in their respective cities, spreading through underground clubs and DIY parties. These genres represented a departure from the more commercial sounds of disco, emphasizing raw energy, hypnotic rhythms, and a focus on the DJ as a creative force. As house and techno gained popularity, they spread beyond their cities of origin, reaching Europe and beyond. The music's infectious energy and DIY ethos resonated with a new generation of clubgoers and aspiring DJs, sparking a global movement that would forever change the landscape of electronic music.